close your eyes for a moment, not to escape reality, but to look at it more carefully. Because that is what the Dutch masters did. They didn't invent fantasy worlds, they painted what they saw around them. Light, people, daily life. Welcome to Orange Horizons, a podcast for travellers to the Netherlands who want to experience more than just the obvious. In this episode, we explore the Dutch masters, not as distant icons behind museum glass, but as artists rooted in cities, streets and everyday surroundings that you can still visit today. When we say Dutch masters, we're talking about artists whose work has stood the test of time. Rembrandt, Vermeer, Van Gogh. These are names you've likely heard, and they represent mastery and creativity. These painters made the Netherlands a powerhouse in the art world, despite the country's small size. What connects them is not grandeur, but precision. They looked closer at how light enters a room, at the posture of a person, at ordinary moments that suddenly feel important. And that approach still feels familiar today. We start our journey in Amsterdam, where the Rijksmuseum houses iconic works by Rembrandt and Vermeer, alongside treasures by Frans Hals and many other artists. When you walk into the Rijksmuseum, you step into centuries of history. Rembrandt's Night Watch is often the first stop, not because it is loud or dramatic, but because it is controlled, full of detail, full of intent. Oh, and if you plan to visit, book your ticket in advance. Trust me, it saves a lot of time, and it lets you focus on the art instead of the queue. And while in Amsterdam, the Rembrandt House Museum is also worth a visit. It's the actual home and studio where Rembrandt lived and worked for nearly 2 decades. Here you'll see etchings and get a real sense of the artist's life and approach. From Amsterdam, we move to The Hague, to the Maurits House. This is where Vermeer's Girl with a Pearl Earring hangs. It's a quiet painting. No narrative, no explanation, just a face, a glance, and light. What makes The Hague interesting is the contrast. Within the same city, you can move from 17th century masters to modern abstraction. At the Kunstmuseum Den Haag, you'll find the world's largest collection of works by Piet Mondrian. And here, the focus shifts, from observation to structure, from representation to rhythm. And if you prefer portraits with more movement and character, grab a 30-minute train ride up north, because Haarlem is definitely worth the detour. The Frans Hals Museum in Haarlem offers a glimpse into the lively world of expressive Golden Age portraits, smiles that feel spontaneous, poses that seem almost informal. Each masterpiece by the Dutch masters tells you a story. But what is it exactly that draws us in so deeply? Well, Dutch masters painted scenes of everyday life, markets, homes, landscapes, that feel familiar even centuries later. The way they captured light and texture changed painting forever. And it is worth remembering that art history was not only written by men. Women like Judith Leyster were highly regarded in their time, breaking barriers and making their own mark in the 17th century. And if you're thinking art in the Netherlands is just a bunch of old paintings, then you're wrong. For example, the Das Style movement, with figures like Piet Mondrian and Gerrit Rietveld, is what opened totally new paths in abstraction and design. Or the Rietveld's Schroeder House in Utrecht, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, brings these ideas into 3 dimensions. It's a must-see for design lovers. And if you're travelling with family, Utrecht Centraal Museum also showcases modern work and playful creations like Miffy illustrations that kids will absolutely adore. Before you go, I've got some practical tips to make your Dutch masters experience a bit smoother and memorable, whether you're a design lover or want to explore with family. 1. Book museum tickets ahead, especially for major museums like the Rijksmuseum and Maurits House. 2. Consider a museum card, a museum pass that gives access to hundreds of museums across the Netherlands. You can purchase these at participating museums. 3. Take a city walking tour to discover hidden murals, local galleries and art districts. And finally, museums often offer audio guides in multiple languages. They add depth to the stories behind the paintings. Next time on Orange Horizons, we'll discover the Dutch water defence lines, where history, engineering and the Dutch landscape meet in a magnificent UNESCO World Heritage Site. Are you curious to discover more? Head over to holland.com for tips and stories that help guide you through the Netherlands. And please don't forget to subscribe to Orange Horizons and leave a 5-star review if you liked the episode. This episode was produced by Break the Wire Concepts on behalf of the Netherlands Board of Tourism and Conventions. Visual design by Le Bureau de l'Eau. Research by Evi Musters. Editorial direction from Elmar Rakers and Gerda Graham. And while the voice you heard was generated by AI, the work behind it was done by real people, with notebooks, deadlines, and too much coffee. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next Orange Horizon.